All right, so I finally got around to finishing Catherine's desk. I promised her this about 7 months ago. I started it for one weekend and then school just got crazy and I would just work on it here and there, 15 minutes a week or 10 minutes a week or something, and I really didn't get much done each time. So finally finished it. 7 months later, here it is. It definitely wouldn't take you as long if you actually have the time to do it. But this is a foldable desk. I hung it on the wall. I got inspired by some stuff I came across on Pinterest, but there were really no directions anywhere online, so I had to kind of wing most of it and experiment. I'm glad it worked out. Yeah, so this was made out of a pallet, mostly out of a pallet. Shout out to Pier 1 for giving us a free pallet. This is how it looks from the side here. And we wanted to go with the whole farmhouse vintage reclaimed wood type of look, just to match the bookshelf that I made as well. Please excuse the mess in the background. So we figured it would match. Yeah, so this is basically the bulk of it is the pallet. The actual desktop is what I purchased. So it's 3 1x6s, so 1, 2, 3, and then the bottom one there is actually a 1x4, and I jointed those together with pocket holes, Craig jig pocket holes. As you can see there's a pocket hole there, and some are hidden with this here. I actually like how they look here. It kind of gives it more of a, I don't know, more character, I think. And this whole thing here, it was just mainly for aesthetics, but I guess it helps with structure as well. Yeah, so to keep it up here, make sure it's nice and locked, I use just a regular door chain lock. And I bought these hinges at Menards for about $5, I want to say. Yep. Like I said, for the desktop, I jointed total 4 boards, cut them to size, sanded it down, stained it, and then we decided to go with some epoxy up top because I know that she'll probably be writing, and you know it's gonna start engraving the desk. So, well, you know what, let's do some epoxy. That way, if you spill some water on there or something, it won't damage the wood. I think it looks really nice. I did, since I currently don't own a router, I used my Dremel, and I used the router bit, and I kind of just did that there, so that's why it's slightly rounded, not fully square. So I think that turned out okay. And then for the chains, I bought these on Amazon. I think they were about $10, and it's basically a light fixture chain, a heavy-duty light fixture chain, and it came with the ring, with this as well, and the chain itself. And this here is a bolt D-lock or D-bracket. I'm not even sure what it's called, but paid also about $10, but it came with like 50 of them, and they're heavy duty, so that's holding in place nicely. And what I did with those is I bolted those down, because I didn't want to screw those down for sure, and this is bolted down as well. So, and then we have like a nut there, and then I just used some Loctite as well, just to kind of hold it in place a little better. And as for the side here, these are just slats that were up front, and when you're taking these slats off, a lot of them crack, and at first I was a little bummed out about it, but then I thought it gave it more character. Really, I kind of like how that whole weathered, kind of beat up wood looks. Takes its own shape, and I just sanded it down the way it cracked, and I stained it and put a clear coat on there. Then I put it on the side. I kept this as is. I just sanded it down, stained it. I considered covering the holes, but I think it gives it more character as well. I want to keep it kind of, I want to give it that, I want people to know that it is a pallet that's up here. And this is another one of the slats, and I saw I had it extra, and I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Well, I made a shelf with it. It's just a 1x4 that I cut the same size as that one, and I screwed it down with, or jointed it with some Craig jig pocket holes as well. This was another addition, just randomly it came to me, and I decided to add one of those Edison style lamp or light bulbs. I bought the socket on its own, and then the wire, threaded that through, and then wired it to the socket, and then the bulb. And this is just regular pipe. You can get it anywhere, buy it at Menards. Each fitting is probably about 80 cents or something, or $1. I don't really remember. Just made a 1-inch hole, or 3/4 inch hole, and I threaded that through. Yeah, just basically got it down here. I wanted to make a hole here, thread it down, and then eventually I wanted to, and I did buy it already, I just haven't installed it, and put one of those light socket fixtures, but actually screwed in there. That's a project for who knows when, but eventually I want to get to that. But that's what I want to do. I'm going to thread that pipe down, throw a hole there, down to the bottom. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of hanging it, I feel pretty safe about this side here. So I found a stud here. So those are screwed down with some nice long screws. So I feel good about that. The problem was on this side, I could not find a stud for the life of me here that would make it fit together, and I didn't want to deal with taking the slats off and all that stuff because I didn't want to crack the wood. So I decided to go with the toggle bolts. They're pretty heavy duty too. According to the box, holds a lot of weight. So I made sure I put 2 on each one of these slats at the bottom and 2 on each one of these slats at the top. Mr. Bordy here, or Planky, or I don't know what we called it, he's part of this pallet as well, so there he goes. And yeah, so this is it. Let's see how this works here. Side look there. It seems to be very sturdy. I really don't feel like it's going to fall back or something, or like if you lean on it or something, it doesn't feel like flimsy or anything. Obviously I wouldn't, push down against it intentionally, but for example, I have some pretty heavy books. This is Kat's desk, but let's put some books here. Like some pretty heavy books, and it's still like pretty, it doesn't seem like it's about to fall off the wall or anything, and it's already got a load on it. So I mean, this is literally a rock, and tons of books up there, and seems to be holding steady. All right.